Hello my beautiful gorgeous babes out there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in today. But in today's video, I'm going to show some of the items I picked up from the new Fresh Fantasy collection from Kaleidos Cosmetics. I picked up the Lunar Lavender palette as well as one of their Charisma contour palettes. So if you're interested in seeing some swatches, seeing me create this eye look, and just my overall thoughts on Kaleidos Cosmetics as well as the products, then keep on watching. Alright my beauties, I hope everyone is doing well. If you did not watch my video I posted before this one, I did mention that I am moving very soon, so that is why the background looks different and has nothing on it. And my hair is also looking very frizzy if you were wondering about that, but I hope you weren't. But no matter how much product I put in my hair, it does nothing. The struggle is real. But anyways, if you are new here and you like fashion, makeup, beauty, and all that fun stuff, then hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. Alright, now let's get into it. If you don't know about Kaleidos Cosmetics, they are an indie makeup brand. They are, I believe, an American Chinese company. Their products do ship from China, so it does take some time to receive the items in the mail if you don't live in China, because it is international shipping. But they are a vegan and cruelty-free brand. So far, everything I've tried from this brand has been really amazing. Beautiful packaging, color story, formula. I've been very impressed with the things that I have tried, and their items have always come to me in perfect condition. Nothing has ever been broken. They package everything very well. This is how my products came in, this beautiful box, and it did have like a lot of foam in it, so it was packaged really well. And then it came in like a bigger box with more foam. Here's the palette that I picked up. This is called the Lunar Lavender palette. This retails for $24. It has a 6-pan color story. I will show you what the palette itself looks like. Very beautiful. Like I said, the packaging is always stunning. And then it flips open like this. There is a mirror. They have this little sleeve here. This does have the shade names on it. And then here are the shades. So pretty. If you like purples, you're going to love this palette. It does have 2 like neutral brown shades in here too. But it's 4 mattes. It's 1 shimmer and 1 dual chrome. It's very beautiful. I'm going to show you guys the swatches. I kind of swatched it out so we can make this video quick. But just so beautiful. Like this, I used all the shades on my eyes today. Like look at that dual chrome. So beautiful. Just very nice. Also, this palette is part of their like futurism series, so they do have a bunch of little 6-pan palettes that have different color stories. I will show you guys those ones as well in this video, just in case this color story doesn't speak to you. They have other options, and I have pretty much all of them except for 2 of them, so I will show you guys those and swatches from them as well. So the other thing that I picked up was the Charisma contour palette in the shade medium warm. This is what the outer packaging looked like. It has 3 shades in it. This retails for $18, and this is what the palette looks like. If you have one of the dual blushers, it's the same size. And then here are the shades. This is what the sleeve looks like inside. So it's this fill shade and chisel. This is the bronzing shade, the contour shade, and like a highlighting shade. Alright, and here are the shades in the contour palette. The bronzer, the contour, and the highlighting powder. I think it did work really well on my skin tone. So if you're like light medium to medium tan, I think it will work for you. They do have 2 other shades in the collection. They have a light cool one, and then they have a deep warm one. This is the in-between one. I feel like the jump though to the deep warm is really big, so I feel like they are missing some colors in between that. They did also come out with a Sashimi City palette, and I did not pick up that one because it's more of a neutral color story, but I'll post a photo of that as well in case you're interested in that one. It does look really pretty, and from the reviews I've seen other people do of that palette, it looks absolutely stunning. They did also come out with a gloss called Dramatize. I didn't pick that one up either, but I'll put a picture in case you're interested. I have one of those glosses in another shade, and it's a beautiful gloss, not super sticky, and I think overall the product is really good. They also had an option where you could get some PR like items. They had like a suitcase, they had a cute little bow that was part of like the PR packaging that you could buy separately, and they had an option to buy the entire collection for $119 if you wanted to get everything, and that would include the PR items. So that was everything in the Fresh Fantasy collection. Like I said, I was going to show you guys the other palettes in like the Futurism series in case those color stories didn't speak to you. But they did have the Electro Turquoise one. This one is one of my favorite ones out of the whole, out of all the options. It's just a really beautiful turquoise orangey color story, and the quality is superb. All of the palettes are of amazing quality. They had Astro Pink, which I actually think this would go really well with the Lunar Lavender palette. Like this would be a good complementary palette. Like I'll show you guys. I think they would work really well together actually, because this has some like darker tones in it too. I would definitely use those palettes together. Then they had this one, which is a neutral color story. This is the Cyber Bronze. This one is really pretty though. Like look at these shades. This is like a nice little different take on a more neutral palette. And this silver, whew, that is stunning. And then they had the Sci-Fi green palette, which I did mention. This is one of my favorite fall palettes. It is just a beautiful olivey green palette. It's just gorgeous. I love this one a lot as well. And then it has like that deepening tone. So this is definitely fall vibes in this palette. But those were all the other options for different color stories in case you didn't like the recent ones that launched. So that was everything I wanted to mention. So let's just jump into the look and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Alright guys, I started doing the look and realized it wasn't even filming. But we're going to create this look. I'm using this shade right here, which I think it's called Crater Grove. And I'm using that on the outer corner. I did prime my eyes with the usual MAC paint pot. I'm starting with the dark shade first. I like to just do that just in case the shades, this is a type of shade that doesn't layer well on other shades if they're already down. Okay, I think that looks good so far. It's laying down just fine. I will finesse the, you know, edges and stuff and blend it out as we go. But I'm going to use the same brush. I'm just going to clean it off with my color switch. And I'm going to go on with this purple shade, which a lot of people have talked about having issues with it. So I think I'm going to pack it on and just see how that works in like the inner part. Wish me luck. I hope this shade doesn't do terrible. But I mean, a lot of people complain about this being patchy and just like kind of like sweeping away. I don't know, but I'm just going to pack it on. Shades like that, you just kind of gotta, you know, work with them more. They're more high maintenance shadows, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with this. A little patchy in the center part and I haven't even really blended it out. So that's just unfortunate. This is just a difficult shade. Yeah, do you guys see that? That's crazy, right? Like the edges are even darker when you're trying to blend. But I mean, it doesn't look terrible. I think the way I used it was probably the best way. But it's unfortunate because it is a really pretty shade. But the formula of it is just not the best. And it's just doing some weird things. Like you can see how it's darker on the edge but lighter in the inner part. That's so unfortunate. But we're gonna leave it as is. We're not gonna do anything else with that before it ends up looking worse if I try to finagle it too much. So I'm gonna take this shade, and that shade, I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you guys, was called Midnight Flora. And I'm gonna go in now with Wisteria right here, the lighter purple. And I'm going to just try to work the edges a little bit, just really little. It's like we don't want to do too much to these edges because I think it could get really funky really fast. That line doesn't even want to go away. Okay, well, now we know. I I think that's the best it's gonna get. So we're going to leave it as is. We're not gonna do anything else to this eye. I'm gonna go do the other eye off of camera, and then I will be back to like do the lid and the rest of the eye. Okay guys, so do the other eye off camera. This is the best it's gonna get. Something about that purple shadow, it doesn't want to blend in with any other shadow. It's kind of just sitting there, and the more you try to blend it and the more you try to like add shadow, it just kind of gets worse and worse, and it doesn't seem to want to just blend into any of the shades. Even like the lighter shade I used at the edge, you just see it like sitting on top, and even the brown isn't really blending into it. So that shade is just funky, unfortunately. So now I'm going to go in with some glitter primer from NYX. The usual, just put it all over my lid like I normally do. And we're gonna lay down some shimmers. Okay, so I laid down the glitter primer and I forgot to mention that I was gonna start putting on the shimmer. And I just started going in, but luckily I filmed that part. The shade that I'm using is Moonroof. Right here. Oh my gosh, I just started putting it on and I didn't even speak. Wow, this shade right here is absolutely stunning. Like, wow, Moonroof is so beautiful. Look at that. Oh, it's so high impact and reflective. That shadow is so pretty. So now I'm going to go in with this brown shade. I think I'm going to run this on the lower lash line, on this on the outer corner, and then use that in the inner corner because I don't want to touch that metal purple shade any more than we already have. So we're gonna just put the brown down here. Yeah, that looks good. The shade is called Nocturnal. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the shade Crater Grove and just run that on the corner here. Just connect that to the top. Okay, so that looks good on the lower lash line. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Dreamscape. I did wet the brush, and I'm gonna use that as my inner corner highlight shade. Alright guys, I think that made a beautiful inner corner highlight. I think the look still came out really nicely even though the purple was a little funky. So I'm going to go off camera and do my liner, mascara, you know, the usual spiel. So I will be right back. Alright guys, this is the completed look. I think it came out really nicely, even though the purple is wonky and funky. I don't think I would want to use that shade again. All the other shades worked really nicely, and the shimmers are stunning in this palette. I did go in with some liquid eyeliner, my mascara, and then for the waterline, I went in with this ColourPop eyeliner in the shade Exit. I went in with a white one, just did something different. I normally don't use white eyeliner, and I think it helped open the eyes more and make my eyes pop a little bit. And then for my lips, I did use the ColourPop lip liner in the shade Dopey. I went over with a lip cream from Cindy Grace in the shade Shaylee. And then on my cheeks, I did end up going in with the Kaleidos bronzing palette that I picked up from the collection. This is in the shade Warm Medium. The bronzer worked really good for my skin tone. It blended in really nicely. And then I also used this shade to kind of clean up, and I think it did really well. It's not super brightening or anything, but it works well to have that in the palette if you want to clean up your bronzer or your blush. And then this contour shade I haven't used yet. I will try that out on another day. That completed the look. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Now let's get into my final thoughts and we can wrap up this video. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this look I created. Overall, I think it was really beautiful, besides this one wonky purple shade that just was patchy and could not lay very well on any other shadows. I did see other reviews and people all said the same thing about this one particular shadow. So I don't think it's my technique or my palette that I got. I just think this was poorly formulated, and honestly to me I think it's a dud, and that's just so unfortunate because everything else I've tried from Kaleidos Cosmetics has been amazing. All the other shades perform beautifully. The shimmers in here are stunning, especially this duochrome. So the palette is still worth it for me, but I could understand having a dud shade in this palette being a deal breaker for you, because it is a small color story and that is like the main purple in the palette to make a purple look. So then it restricts you to have to kind of lean on the browns if you're someone who likes to only use one palette to create their look. In terms of the contour palette, I think the bronzer blended into my skin beautifully. Even the highlight shade was wonderful. I think it has a nice silky blendable formula. Only thing I will have to say is I feel like they do need to include more shades in this range. I do give them props that they are trying to like expand and be more inclusive. They are, you know, a smaller indie brand, and it was good that they did come out with options, but I definitely think they need to add more in the range, because there's definitely huge leaps between the shades and like gaps that like leave out a lot of people of different skin tones. Alright guys, that was my overall thoughts on the products I picked up. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, whether you picked this up or not. I just love hearing from all of y'all. And like I said, if you're new here and you like fashion, makeup, beauty, and all that fun stuff, hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. Don't forget to check out the description. I'll have the palette links. If I can find any kind of discount codes or anything like that, I'll have it in the description, as well as my Instagram handle, which I'll pop on the screen as well, is at the Curvy Traveler. I would love for you guys to check me out over there as well. All right, that was everything. Hope everyone is doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you some love and light. But until next time, bye guys.